All right, so if you are a global player and you are wondering what is going to be coming up next on the global version, we're going to go ahead and look at some of that stuff. So we already know most of the details that is going to be coming to this celebration. We can already see that a lot of this has already been, already confirmed in the game that it's going to be dropping. Next, we're obviously going to get the LR rebrand trio. I already said it in the initial video, but they're not like they're okay, but the thing is that you don't really want to summon for okay anymore, Oh wait, hold on, let me make sure that my Discord is do not disturb real quick. All right, it is. So yeah, they're it's just that they're okay, and they're gonna be back on a, or they're gonna be on a guaranteed banner, or a yellow coin banner. So that means that it'll be the second time that we've seen the ability to pick them up if you do summon enough times. But again, I just don't really think that it's just worth it to just do something like that, I don't remember what the coin was called, but basically that's what this is. This is just going to be an updated version of that. It's limited coin, right? You'll be able to pick them up if you summon enough times. But even then, I still wouldn't recommend summoning on these units. It's just not only that, but I'm pretty sure the banner was bad as well. So just obviously this is just a free dead period. Then we're gonna get the Elof Pilaf trio. Honestly, the OST kind of slaps, and I really do I really do like having the OST play in the background. It is really cool. But overall, they're also just okay as well. The main issue is just the right here changes key spheres to int, changes int key spheres to AGL tech or STR when there's a Goku. So it's just it doesn't really matter, and it could have been swapped for something else. But how many times are you gonna fight Goku? Only recently have we started seeing with the quote unquote blue zone that's on JP, where there is a Goku enemy. But even still, the main issue with them is just that they don't really have too much defensive utility, right? It's just they only just get defense stats, right? And when you're a free-to-play unit, you really need something else. You can't just rely on pure defense, and unfortunately this is just a unit that relies on pure defense, right? But they do have the high chance to evade attack, but you need a tech key sphere. So it's just you kind of have to prioritize that. But there's just sometimes you can't really get tech, which does suck. But if you are able to get AGL tech or STR, they can look okay, But yeah, it's a free to play LR. You can't really say too much about it. From what I remember, the cooler is actually pretty good. Yeah, he's a solid AGL support unit, especially for free to play. Raising his defense for one turn is okay. Having it where he can dodge more, or has a higher dodge chance of the more supers you do, so it kind of builds up. You just have to pray that obviously you're dodging the supers, but having a 50% dodge chance is definitely okay, because I'm almost positive he's able to tank normals. And then obviously just having the dodge too just helps out. And then he also has the only issue is that it's still rare. I don't know why they did that, because I think it was rare beforehand, right? No, it was just regular additionals. But still, I would have liked to see this at least be a 30%. That's probably the only issue, is that it's just such a low chance. But that's about it. He's still an okay EZA though. I can't remember about this Goku. I know that I think that Super Trunks is okay though. Let me just double check. So Goku 59% attack and defense, 59% attack and defense performing super attack plus an additional 59 when all ice at the same turn with giant 8 power. Has a rare chance, 15% chance to turn grade 8. I mean, he looks good on paper, but I don't know, because he has basically 259% starting attack and defense when he's fully built up. Then he would get an additional 59% defense here and additional defense here. I don't know. I on paper, I think he looks okay. We'll go ahead and look at tech. Let's make Gohan. 20% attack and defense when HP is 50% or above, plus an additional 20% attack and defense with each super attack performed. Launches an additional. Majin Buu Saga enemy. Guy's trash. No, I think he probably looks worse than Goku though, because 258% starting attack and defense when fully built up, compared to just 358%, and then no multiplicative stuff. Actually, no, this would be multiplicative. That was my bad. But oh wait, no, it actually doesn't say multiplicative. I don't know. That the Ultimate Gohan doesn't look too good. Like I said, I think the Super Trunks was good, right? 150%, great chance of 150%. This part was, I'm pretty sure, the good part. Performs a critical hit with the same turn after receiving an attack. 50% attack when attacking. Medium chance of performing a critical hit. I mean, like I said, he looks okay, but I don't know. Then we already got these. Then we're gonna have the STR Gohan and Piccolo, as well as the Tech Nappa and Vegeta. Both of these units are actually pretty good. I could pull up the banner in a couple of seconds so that way we could see what it was. But let's go ahead and look at the units first. So I do think that this is going to be the next unit to come to Global, Dokkan Fest wise. Unless we see something with the Super Dokkan Fest, and who knows if it's going to drop like 2 units. But I personally don't know. But like I was saying, the STR Gohan and Piccolo unit are actually pretty good. I would say so I just did a top 5 TUR tier list. I would probably say that this Gohan and Piccolo would just be top 5, like just number 5 in the top 5 list. I do think that they're probably just better than Gamma 1 because of the utility that they have. And we'll go ahead and talk about that. So Gohan gets 2 ki and 150% attack and defense. They raise 50% attack and defense on Super. They have the damage reduction when they are in the first or second attacker in the turn. And then they would get their damage reduction. But it has to, I believe it can activate, or it stays activated after you get attacked. But it's not like in the start of turn. Maybe it's when attacking. I don't know. The only thing that like kind of confused me was the damage reduction. I just know that, like, let's say that there's an AoE and the first guy gets hit and you're down to 70 HP, you would lose the damage reduction if you're below the 70% HP, because it like activates mid-turn basically. They also give Bond Master and Disciple or Saiyan Saga units 2 ki and 30% attack and defense. I don't think it's double though. It doesn't clarify. I'm not sure if it does like basically 4 ki. I'm assuming it's probably just 2 ki, and I don't know. I don't want to assume. So yeah, they also give super class, but most of the time you don't want to put them in the 3rd slot, but because then you wouldn't get the damage reduction. But if you do put them in the 3rd slot, then they would give 1 ki and 30% attack defense for 3 turns as a 3rd attacker in their turn. It's still pretty good though, because it just means that you put them in the floating slot, and then you basically get a pretty good support buff going around for the entire rotation. It's basically like the Bulma support. I always gas up the Bulma support for this exact reason. Just giving out so much attack and defense for that can definitely help out a lot. And then if they have 70% or less starting from the attacking turn or starting from the 7th turn of battle. So basically, if you are 70% or less, you can have the revive, or if it's 7 turns or more, right? So after that happens, you can do the revive, and then you have that really cool animation play where Gohan has Piccolo protect him, and then takes the blast, and then it's just Gohan. And then this is like probably like this is what Super Trunks wishes he was, He has the guaranteed dodge. Let me see if I can find it. Right here. Evades enemies' attacks for 1 turn. And then afterwards, he just has a high chance to dodge starting from the 3rd turn. So basically, he has a really good chance of dodge. He massively raises his attack and defense for 1 turn here. He does... where is it? He has like some good multiplicative stuff too. 100% attack when performing a super attack. He gets a 12 ki and 300% attack and defense from the start of turn. So basically when you do revive, the turn that he comes back, he is popping a super like bomb on the opponent, you know? And that does really help out a lot. It's just that the Gohan and Piccolo part could be a little bit mid, especially because like I was talking about with the damage reduction, how I could just deactivate mid-turn. That does hurt a little bit, but once you actually do get this Gohan out, he can be pretty good for sure. And then he's also, you know, giving 2 ki to all super class allies, having just a great chance of performing a critical hit when there's a Pure Saiyan's enemy. You know, all that stuff does matter. It does help out a lot. And then obviously like this is just the easiest condition of all time. Have a Goku on the team, not even on the turn, just on the team. It helps, you know. But yeah, not like I can't really say to skip this unit because they are pretty cool. And then Vegeta and Nappa are kind of like a different. They're different than what we have usually seen. So they are probably a better sidebanding unit than what we usually get. They get the attack and defense raise here. You know, they get the 150% attack and defense. They have the 80% attack when performing a super attack. They get more ki and more attack and defense per each super attack performed. They automatically launch an additional super attack that has a great chance of being a super. And then they are type affecting with all types against attack down or defense down. This doesn't really matter, but what does matter is that they get damage reduction in the 3rd slot. Plus, if you are fighting, or if you're having another Pure or Terrifying Conqueror's ally attacking in the same turn, they guard. So they are a very, very dominant slot 3 unit. The main issue is that 3rd attacker in the turn usually procs after you attack, so they're not as defensive as I would like to be against AoEs, but they're still guarding, so they're okay, you know. It's just that obviously the first turns they have to build up, of course, and you have to, like, you know, just save them just a little bit, but they build up really fast. You know, having this right here where they're, you know, just launching the additional attack that has a great chance to become a super, it helps, you know. It does help. It's just, you know, poopy links right here. All poopy links. If only they, if I were to redesign this unit, I would probably just take this part out and then just make this like a support, you know, having it where it's just like maybe Pure Saiyans and Terrifying Conquerors get like 2 ki and 30% attack and defense. I think that could help him out a lot more than just having the attack effect against all types. Because the thing about these sidebanding units is I don't really care about their attack performance. I mostly care about the defense, their defense, and then how, you know, like, well they are against super attacks. So if I put in this guy in slot 3, he's going to be guarding, he's going to have 30% damage reduction. We've seen time and time again that the units that have guard and damage reduction are just like so far away above the rest, right? And then after that pops up, we're probably just going to go into Saiyan Day because we're probably going to get the rebrand trio LR in next week, somewhere either next week or the week after. Then obviously it's probably going to be like another, or whatever the Super Dokkan Fest or Super Dokkan banner is, and like around the 18th to 24th, like that week basically. Then we'll get the teaser on the 25th or 26th, you know, somewhere around that time. And then at the end of, or the beginning of March, we'll probably get the STR Goku and Gohan. And then after that, we'll get the EZAs for Vegeta and Nappa, of course. We'll get all of this stuff. The EZA for this guy. I'm pretty sure that the sad thing is that this EZA should have been so much better, but they still made this once only. And it would have been better if they just made it where it was, if it didn't be once only. And it was so stupid. You could easily just take this part and make it once only, but they should have just made it where the damage reduction is like permanent if you're 58% or less. Because then it just becomes a thing of like, well, Fizz Kid Gohan is probably just better than this guy. And that's so sad. Because it's kind of the same unit, you know? But just having the damage reduction be permanent is just like so much more valuable than having like all of these like 59%, 59%, 58%, 58% attack and defense here and there. It doesn't make it where this Gohan is unusable, for sure, but it just makes it where it's just like it should have just been so much better, you know. And then obviously we already got the hero stuff, and we already caught up with all of that. And then I think it's just the what is it, the SCR Super Saiyan 3 and the Hirudegarn. We'll still have to see where they're gonna place these guys. I truly don't know. And then we would get these free to play unit from the battlefield as well. They're kind of bad. They have the medium chance to dodge, but that's it. Like this whole thing is just yapping, and it's just yapping for no reason. Like it's just like right here, the attack down or defense down. I keep saying this, but it's so pointless because all of these hard bosses you can't do that. So I don't understand why they keep putting stuff like that in here. And we finally got an event that has Goku in it with, like I said, the blue zone. And then we could have, but it's just like, okay, chance to evade super or attacks plus 20% and attack effective against all types if they're stunned or sealed. What? You're gonna, if the opponent is stunned, why would I need extra dodge chance? They can't attack. Like, what? Who made this guy? Like, okay, man. Hirudegarn and Goku, though, are super powerful. Goku is definitely top 5. He's up there with the likes of, you know, Int, Majunior, Tech, World Tournament Goku, Physical God Goku. He's, like, up there with them for sure. He greatly raises his attack and defense, or, well, raises his attack and then raises his defense for 1 turn. This is all like this is all 1 turn. He doesn't like raise it permanently, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, see, it's not permanent. The attack raise isn't permanent. He has a great chance of nullifying unarmed super attacks, but it truly doesn't matter. Like I've said this a couple of times, but most of the time it just, there's no unarmed super attacks in the game. None from some of these hard content. The only thing that I think just happened on JP was the God Goku. And I think that's the first phase. I don't know about, I don't know if SSJ God Goku can be countered too with this. But most of the time, it doesn't matter. He has a medium chance of performing a critical hit, so build full additional. Then he also has a high dodge chance, so build full additional. Then he also gets 150% attack and defense when performing a super attack. Gets another 159% attack and defense and performing another crit chance, basically, plus 20% as a second or third attacker in the turn. He already needs to be a second or third attacker because you don't want to put this guy in slot 1 regardless. Plus an additional 159% attack and chance of performing a critical hit when 59% or less. Then he also has it where the standby mode is easily one of the better ones, for sure. He has a 330% attack and defense. Sorry, I keep stumbling over my words. 159% attack for 1 turn from the start of the turn. Then he gets the great chance of evading enemy's attack. So most of the time you want to put this guy in slot 1. And then if your HP is 59% or less, chance of evading enemy's attack is plus 20%. So I'm almost positive it's like a 90% chance of dodging this any attack. He foresees enemies' super attack. The reason why is because you want to get hit with a super attack with this. Then he has the all allies Ki plus 3 and 59% attack and defense. Then he also, or sorry, not attack, it's just defense. And then he get an additional 330% attack and evades enemy's attack when the finish effect is activated. So basically, once you do the finish effect, he is unkillable. Or the finish attack. Basically, whenever there is a super attack against him, he counters it and then does like the big, super cool Dragon Fist. The KO screen is something I wish was better, but unfortunately that's just how it is. And then all his attacks become critical hits, so you don't really need to farm it, which is really cool. I always like it when they have it where you don't need to farm crits, and it makes it where it's even more understandable to just go with all additional attack on this guy, right? If you want to maximize dodge chance, I guess that's okay too. I'll probably just be going a full additional though. But yeah, that's about it. And then once you finish standby attack, you'll obviously go back into Goku. I don't know if it tells you how long the standby is. Oh yeah, standby is for 5 turns. I think once you do the finish attack though, he automatically goes back into Super Saiyan 3. It's not like you stay in here for 5 turns. It's just whenever the finish attack is done, and then you'll go back after the turn is done. From my knowledge, at least. But yeah, like that. This is one of the best standbys too, because like I said, you have a 90% chance of evading the enemy's attack as long as you're 59% or less. And most of the time, you're going to be doing that because you're 59% or less. Because it's very unlikely that you'll be under 70% and then not just also be under 59% as well, especially with some of these harder hitting bosses for sure. You can also be activated from the 6th turn, but at that point, who knows, like if there's gonna be a super attack in like slot 3 or something, and then you can just have it where it's just like that. Barudagarn is he's dodge or die, but he could take normals, and I guess that's really the only thing that matters. He gets an additional 10% of defense with each evasion that he does, and then he just has the 70% evasion, like permanent basically. And then he launches an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super attack within the same turn after evading an attack. He raises defense here infinitely, and then once you do just go into the perfect form, you can go into a full dodge loop, because he evades enemies' attacks every single time that you evade 3 attacks. So if you evade 3 attacks in a turn, the next time that he shows up, he's going to be guaranteed dodging. And then if you dodge 3 attacks that turn, he's going to guarantee dodge the turn after. So it'll just keep going on and on and on and on and on, right? And then his is also the same thing, you know, 3rd turn if you're 70% or less, or just 6th turn. Which, again, I always like it when these standbys or transformations are always just like super easy to get. It is pretty cool. We already got these units and all that, so that doesn't really matter. And then January is just nothing. There's nothing for January. No, obviously it's the it was the anniversary, but they just haven't updated it because they don't have like a 9th anniversary section yet. But it is what it is, you know. But yeah. That is everything that's going to be coming to the global version, not including the anniversary, of course. Obviously, we do have stuff that we just don't know what's going to happen. But as of right now, this is all the stuff we're missing from the JP side. So obviously, Saiyan Day is something we don't know what's going to be. We don't know what the global first is going to be. Who knows if it's going to be an Easy A or if it's just going to be a brand new unit. While it hasn't happened for a while, Goku Day could also have something too. Like Goku, Gohan, Goten Day. Who truly knows at this point, you know. But yeah, that's basically, like I said, all the stuff that we're missing on the JP side. If this video helped you at all, or you know, if you did like the video at all, make sure to like, subscribe. I'm trying my best to get to 1,000 subscribers because we've already gotten 4,000 hours. So once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to get ad revenue, which would be so cool. And I really do appreciate all of you for helping me get this far so far. But other than that, thank you, Celeste, Will, and Average for being members. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.